COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a new coronavirus introduced to humans for the first time. It is spread from person to person, mainly through the droplets produced when an infected person speaks, coughs, or sneezes. These droplets can land in the mouths or noses of people who are nearby. These droplets are too heavy to travel far in the air. They only travel approximately 1 meter and quickly settle on surfaces. This is the reason person-to-person spread is happening mainly between close contacts. The exact time that the virus can survive on surfaces is not yet known. So it is wise to clean surfaces regularly, particularly in the vicinity of people infected with COVID-19. Hands touch many surfaces, which can be contaminated with the virus. You should therefore avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth, since contaminated hands can transfer the virus from the surface to yourself. When coughing or sneezing, cover your mouth and nose with the bend of your elbow or use a disposable tissue. If a tissue is used, discard it immediately into a closed bin. The most effective way to prevent the spread of the new coronavirus is to clean your hands frequently with an alcohol-based hand rub or soap and water. This will eliminate the virus if it is on your hands. Stay healthy and prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Well, hello, Grenada, Carrico, Mondic, and the rest of the world. I'd like to officially welcome you to another Mikey Live program. I'm your host, Mikey Hutchinson. And folks, we are coming to you live from the Spice Isle of the Caribbean, Grenada. So we have a lot of things to tell you about tonight. What's making the news in the Caribbean, what's popular, what's not, what are some of the conversation that's been had on social media and in the general public. So folks, we have a lot to talk about tonight, but I don't plan on keeping you very long. The first COVID-19 patient condition worsens, and that's according to sources that we have spoken to. We'll talk to you about that. In fact, that patient has been moved to the General Hospital compound. All right, we're going to talk to you about that. Government establishes COVID-19 Economic Support Secretariat. All right, that too we'll tell you about in a statement from the WRB Enterprise. All right, and it's about Grenada. We'll talk to you about that and the government and the recent ruling by the courts. Grenada Bankers Association releases a statement that's going to see major changes in terms of the operating hours of the commercial banks in Grenada. Wanted man surrenders to police. US, that's the United States, may become the global epicenter of the COVID-19. All right, and pop star Rihanna donates $5 million to coronavirus relief efforts. And Tokyo 2020 Olympics officially postponed to 2021 due to the COVID-19. The 2020 Olympics officially postponed to 2021. Interesting headline. All right, so folks, we have that and more to tell you about when we return on tonight's Mikey Live program. Folks, we want you to know that the headlines was brought to you through the kind compliments of the good folks at Nawasa and Digicel. When we come back, it'll be real news in Oli Lolo. So brace all yourself, get your water and things like that, and organize your business. Get comfortable, get your cricks or whatever it is, so that we can get comfortable and discuss the news. We are coming back. Don't touch. By the way, make sure all share the program. I'm tired of telling all of that. Please share the program so that other people will see that we are live. Stay tuned.
5 things you need to know about self-isolation. Stay home. If you are told to self-isolate, it means staying at home, not going to work, school, or other public places, and you should not have any visitors. Separate yourself. If you live with others, then you need to stay in a well-ventilated bedroom with the door shut. If you have to share a bathroom, then use it after everyone else. Don't share towels and toiletries, as this may put others at risk. Call ahead. If you develop symptoms such as a fever or cough, then seek advice first by calling the Ministry of Health's hotline at 538-4787 or 458-4787. Please do not show up at a medical center or hospital, as this may put others at risk. Take care with waste. If you test positive, your waste should be double bagged and disposed of separately. Create a buddy system. If you live on your own, you can plan with friends and family to check in with each other and run essential errands if one becomes sick. Once sick, they should leave groceries on the doorstep. Why it's important. COVID-19 causes a mild illness for 4 out of 5 persons. Self-isolating will help protect the older generation and those who may have underlying health problems from getting infected.
We enjoy the luxury of a quality water supply. But it can come to this. Have adequate storage.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom
for me and you.
I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. What a wonderful world.
Why not stay in, turn off the alarm clock, and sleep some more on your perfect mattress from Quartz? For the widest range of mattresses from the world's best brands, the best value guaranteed. Shop today and let our sleep experts help you to decide on the best option to suit your needs. At Quartz, we don't just sell mattresses, we're offering you the best night's sleep. So, sleep in a little on your new mattress from Quartz. Quartz, bringing value home.
Are you planning an event or looking to rent tents? Then call the tent experts at Waggy T Tent Rentals. We rent tents for all occasions. Tents in different colors, styles, and 25 different sizes. From as little as 10 by 10 to as large as 100 by 40. Call us at 439-TENT. That's 439-8368. Or visit our office at Frequente Industrial Park, Grenada, St. George. We are Grenada's tent people.
Yeah, that's right, and they are Grenada's tent people. Now, folks, the first thing that we would like to tell you tonight is that there is a lot of information circulating on social media that Grenada will be shutting down in 12 hours. It also speaks to other persons being tested positive with the coronavirus. Folks, we have done our background checks, and of course, as of 9 p.m. when we last checked, there is no scheduled shutdown of the country. All right. Also, there's no information about any new cases of the confirmed cases of the coronavirus in Grenada. A lot of that caused people to react in many ways. We had to be answering messages all day long with people trying to find out whether or not there is a shutdown of the country scheduled to happen within the next 12 hours. Of course, again, based on information that we have, there is no such schedule to shut the country down within 12 hours. What I can tell you based on my knowledge is that if Grenada gets more and more confirmed cases, that measure may just be inevitable. But of course, there is no scheduled shutdown for the next within the next 12 hours. All right, so if you happen to be spreading that information, I've seen several messages in that regard. If you happen to be one of those persons sharing that information, whoever you shared it with, you have to let them know that, hey, whatever you shared was inaccurate. All right, of course, folks, you are being reminded that you only listen to information coming from trusted sources, the World Health Organization and the authorities on those messages. For example, the Ministry of Health or the National Disaster Management Agency, or you can even listen to some messages that are forwarded to you from the media. But to take information like that, such critical information, and run with it from persons that you hear saying on the roadside, is just not gonna, that's, I mean, come on, we've spoken about that on several occasions. If something like that is to happen, you will know from the persons like the media first, because once the media gets information, it goes out as soon as possible. Everybody would want to be the first to let you know. All right, so just keeping that in mind, and you would know that, hey, if you're hearing everybody talking about something, but when you check the official sources, you're not seeing it there, then probably it is very likely that that information is untrue. All right, and of course, if I may stick something in here for our organization or our business, folks, we are on the ball all day long, trying to get information, new information, and so on. And trust me, if there's anything of that nature, you will hear it from us very early. All right, so check our page as often as possible if you want to know if something is true or not. All right, good. Now, the government of Grenada, all right, they set up a COVID-19 Economic Support Secretariat, all right, and it has officially been established, and that is to implement the economic stimulus package announced in the national address by the Prime Minister on March 20th, 2020. Now, the measures are intended to promote business sustainability and alleviate any potential job loss or losses as a result of the negative effects of the COVID-19. Now, the Secretariat, set up under the Ministry of Finance, is responsible for the implementation, coordination, and the administration of the measures outlined by the Prime Minister, which will provide support in the first instance to the identified sectors. Now, information pertaining to the process for assessing or accessing the grant support for payroll and income in particular will be available on Friday, 27th March 2020. Now, the government of Grenada is committed, they say, to the efficient implementation of the economic stimulus package, and they say we look forward to collaborating with all relevant stakeholders. Now, persons can call the ministry for further information on that. All right, good. Now we are moving on. All your boy, here's what WRB GPP, they sent out information to us today, and they said that they wanted to confirm that on Thursday, March 19, 2020, it received notification from the ICSID of its award in the arbitration between the government of Grenada and WRB and GPP. They say while the award document itself is quite lengthy, the salient points are as follows. Now, the government is to pay the WRB GPP's second schedule compensation assessed at US dollars $58,427,962. The government is to reimburse WRB GPP for advances to ICSID in the sum of US dollars 972,000. Now, here's what. The government is to pay the WRB GPP's attorney's fees and disbursements in the sum of US $6 million. Okay? Now, here's this one now. The government is to pay pre-award and post-award interest on the amount listed in number 1, compounded annually from 3rd May 2017 until fully paid. All right? Now, there's just one figure that I need to go back to, which is the fee that the government is to reimburse WRB GPPs for the advances to the ICSID, all right? Now, last week, the government said that, okay, this award would mean a lot for Grenada, even if it would appear that the government would have lost the case. But technically what happens is that the ownership of the company comes back to the government technically, and then the government can in turn sell it to somebody else and secure lower rates for the Grenadian population. Well, there are some people who are very skeptical of this. The government said in a statement last week, it's a golden opportunity for electricity consumers in Grenada to obtain cheaper electricity. All right, and we had Terence Forrester. He was affiliated with the government at some point a couple of years ago, very, very involved, and now things have fallen apart between them. And Terry is saying that, hey, listen, what's golden about this opportunity? Where's the opportunity in this? He believes that in the long run, this would result in the general public, electricity consumers, paying
First and
more.
foremost, I have noticed a press release from the GIS, which in essence states that this is a golden opportunity. And I'm trying to figure out what is so golden and what is so opportunistic about government having lost their case once again with WRB. I don't see the golden opportunity existing there at all. As a matter of fact, it is the opposite. We are presently facing a pandemic in this country, in the world, regarding the coronavirus. And this is now coming upon the people of Grenada as, you can almost term it as another pandemic. Because here it is, the court has awarded just over $6.5 million US in costs. In other words, government has to now meet those costs to refund WRB for the expenses in taking this matter to the International Court. In addition to which, some $70 million US, or just over 200 million EC dollars almost, has now to be paid by government to purchase the shares from WRB, which includes naturally the shares of some 1,400 Grenadian shareholders. Now, it is alleged that there are Chinese investors who are interested in purchasing those shares. Be that as it may, in my opinion, government may want to saddle the investor or investors with that $6.5 million US, which is the costs associated with bringing this matter to court, so government has to pay that. That cost may be saddled upon the alleged Chinese investors. And I have absolutely no problem with Chinese investors. Let's get it clear. The fact remains, the alleged investors, they're here to make a business, to make money. No investor goes into an investment to lose money. It means simply that the taxpayers of this country, the consumers of this country with electricity, would have to meet additional costs associated with electricity.
And that's his opinion on the matter. Okay, folks, the next thing that we have to tell you, there's going to be a change in the operating hours of the commercial banks in Grenada. Now, according to a release from the Grenada Bankers Association, in the best interest of customers, employees, and the wider public, the Grenada Bankers Association has amended the operating hours of commercial banks here in Grenada. Now, effective Wednesday, March 25th, 2020, And until further notice, the opening hours of all commercial banks are as follows: 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mondays through to Fridays. Now, the banks will also be enforcing the social distancing protocols, and they say to minimize the risk of spreading the COVID-19. As such, customers will experience change in the mode of operations in the banking halls. Now, Grenada Bankers Association reminds the public to continue listening and adhering to all health and safety guidelines from the Ministry of Health and World Health Organization for the protection of self, family, and community. Folks, for a second day, the Grenada Bus Association members were off the road. They are saying that they are in conversation with the Ministry of Transportation, and they are trying to work out some sort of protocol, all right, for the busmen and so on. They want to establish how many passengers should they be holding, and because they will be losing revenue and so on, how they can be supported and so on. But it's a long list of things. We are hoping that there should be some sort of resolution in the not too distant future. We are moving on. Now, the next thing that we have to tell you is about a man that has been wanted by police, all right? Peter Joseph, his alias is Shandy. According to police, he was wanted and has turned himself in at the Grenville Police Station, St. Andrew, on Monday, 23rd, 2020. That's Monday, 23rd March, 2020. He was charged for the offenses of threats of death, assault, stealing, and damage to property. The accused was granted bail in the sum of $5,000 with the following conditions. One is to relocate from Lapotri, St. Andrew, report to the Hermitage Police Station once weekly, avoid contact with virtual complainant in the matter. And the Royal Grenada Police Force say that they would like to thank the general public and the media for their continued support and assistance. Folks, we are moving on. Olya, have you heard? Well, if you haven't, we'll tell you. Okay, the first COVID-19 patient has been transported from her original location to the compound of the General Hospital for treatment. It's a 50-year-old Grenadian-born female. They say she became symptomatic on the 17th of March, and she was tested and was determined to be positive, carrying the coronavirus. She became the first coronavirus patient and only so far confirmed the case here in Grenada. They say that her condition worsened and had to be taken to the hospital. I believe she would have arrived there just after midnight this morning, all right, just after midnight on Monday, all right. There have been a lot of discomfort by persons, by even hospital workers, as to how the patient will be handled. Yes, as she may be accessing some general areas in the general hospital. Yes, though you're isolated in a particular ward specifically for that, but when certain tests like x-rays or so it has to be done, then you move from that isolating area or that isolation area into what is deemed the general area that is likely to be accessed by persons who do not have such serious conditions. Of course, we have received such concerns, persons expressing that sort of concern, but the ministry say that they have this matter under control. Okay, what else do we have to tell you? Hey folks, there has been some intermittent interruptions in electricity in some parts of the country, and so Grenlec has spoken on this matter, and Grenlec say that they would like to apologize for a number of unscheduled unrelated outages on Monday 23rd and Tuesday 24th March that affected customers in a number of areas. Now listen to this. On the 23rd of March, some customers were affected by non-Grenlec workers trimming bamboos which fell on Grenlec lines. And some of the customers affected were in Grand Dance to Redgate, Beaton, Laura, Corinth, all the way up to St. David's Police Station, including Belle Isle. The outage lasted for just about 10 minutes. These same customers were again affected by a 30-minute outage at 11:01 today because of bamboo falling on them people line again, caused by the same bamboo cutting in Laura St. David. So what I'm saying is, jail them. I don't care if it's my brother. Because all you know how much inconvenience you're caused. You have no idea. No. Customers in Lansepine were also affected by palm tree branches that were periodically contacting electricity lines. They say that they want to take the opportunity to ask members of the public to assist them by identifying trees that are close to power lines and contacting us, which is Grenlec, if trees that are being cut are very close to the power lines. If they are, call Grenlec. If you see that it is likely to cause a problem, call Grenlec. All of that credit, digital gain thing. You know what I mean? They say failure to do so, this can result in personal injury or in power outages that impact many customers, as we have had on 2 consecutive days. There must be some kind of stipulation in jail them. Listen, I don't know who do it, you know. It could be a friend of mine. I don't care about that. Because if only know the kind of inconvenience you all caused in the past 2 days and people panicking, oh God, is this what's going to be happening? Grenada, oh God. Yo, listen, jail them. Imagine the lady they home, you know, she has some extra time and she hand, you know what I mean, and she plug on, you know what I mean, and she, you know, feeling alright, you know, have some business to take care of, and then when you start up, thing cut off. Jail them. Anyway, let me continue. What are you saying again? In addition to the 3 outages related to vegetation between 9:21 and 11 a.m. on the 24th of March, some customers, including some in Carriacou, experienced brief outages resulting from generator trips at Grenlec's Queen's Park and Boussejoux power plant. All see my camera flash, they damage my equipment and I'm going behind them to buy back my thing to you. Grenlec apologizes for the inconveniences to customers and assures you of their continued commitment to providing the reliable electricity you expect. You understand? I don't understand. Telling me anything. A little lucky, you know. All you. So what we are hearing here is that the United States has the potential to become the new global epicenter of the coronavirus pandemic. And that's according to the World Health Organization. Now listen to this. More than 46,000 cases and 530 deaths have so far been reported in America, with more than 20,000 in New York State alone. You understand? So there's a high possibility with that kind of rate, you understand, that there will be the new epicenter. Anyway, all the really that talk day. The next thing that we have to tell you about, boy, good news, right? Rihanna, boy. No, her Clara Lionel Foundation, they are giving $5 million to the response efforts against the COVID-19. I'm just going there to come back to Grenada, right? The money will support on-the-ground partners working on the front line of disaster response, especially those focused on protecting and serving marginalized communities, helping the most vulnerable in the United States, the Caribbean, and in Africa prepare for what is to come. All right, that's according to a statement coming out from the foundation. Now listen to this. The funding will be channeled through direct relief, Partners in Health, Feeding America, the International Rescue Community, the World Health Organization's COVID-19 Solidarity Response Fund, and others. They are saying that never has it been more important or urgent to protect and prepare marginalized and underserved communities, those who will be hit hardest by this pandemic. All right? They say that the money will go to food banks and testing and healthcare worker training, also virus prevention and distribution of critical respiratory supplies. How are we looking for time? All right. So folks, in terms of persons who are arriving to Grenada on the cargo vessels, the government has sent out notice about that. All right. They are saying that the government of Grenada wants to announce that effective 11:59 p.m. on Monday, March 23rd, that was last night again, no crew member of commercial vessels will be allowed or granted shore leave. Crew members, you are only allowed ashore for operational reasons after receiving permission from the Port Authority. Now, persons failing to comply will be subject to a fine or arrest. All right, now we are moving on. Folks have been wondering about the Olympics. Well, folks, that has officially been put off. All right, huge number of sporting events have been cancelled or postponed due to the coronavirus pandemic. And now the granddaddy of global sporting events, the Olympic Games, originally set for this summer in Tokyo, is the new casualty of the coronavirus. The office of the Japanese Prime Minister tweeted that they had conversations and there were explanations and so on, and basically they do not see it happening with all that's going on right now. So the games are put off till next year, 2021. Well, me don't even want to talk about 2021, to be quite honest. You know, what I'm saying is, the way things going, I prefer to reverse than to go forward. If you understand what I mean, let's go back to 2019. Let's start counting down. Reach 2020, that is a sign. We ain't going further. Let's go back. You understand? Because what? No, sir. Because if that's what 2020, I don't want to see. I'm not interested in knowing what 2021 have to offer. No, thank you. Right. So, here's what. The next casualty of events is now the Grenada Music Festival. That festival has been cancelled. According to the organizers, with just over 2 months until the scheduled staging of the 2020 Grenada Music Festival at the Quarantine Park, the organizers think that it cannot happen. They say that the rapid global spread of the virus left us with no alternative but to cancel the festival for 2020, and that's according to the chairperson, Mr. Steve Duncan. Now they are saying that ticket holders can obtain a full ticket refund for purchases online or from the various outlets. Now patrons, you are encouraged to continue to follow the Grenada Music Festival social media pages for the announcement of the dates for 2021. They say they'd like to thank you for your continued support and understanding in this very difficult time. We encourage everyone to heed the recommendations of the health officials and continue to practice social distancing and to be safe. All right, and that's from the organizers of the, let me see, right, of the, again, listen, again, real messages. Let me see what's breaking the, all right, okay, cool. You see, because I tell them, unless it is something very urgent, try to not contact me during the program. So then when I hear ping pong, then I had to check, because you know what I mean. So you have to forgive me for that. That's how rapid information comes, and to remain committed to you and giving you information as rapid as possible. I am obligated to checking, right? And I know that you don't mind that. Yes. So folks, we want to remind you to share the program, and other people will get to know. There are a few things that I would like to share with you now before we move forward. One, you do not have the need to message our page or to ask whether or not a bit of information is true that you heard from the general public. Why? If we have the answer to that question, it will therefore mean that the information would already be on our page. Again, if you find that you're calling to or messaging us to ask whether or not some information is true, what we say to you is check our page. If the information is not there, chances are that we do not yet have that information, which is very rare. The information is just not true. All right, we are, listen, checking our sources often, probably too often that they will get upset with us for keeping on them like this. All right, so we are checking on our sources periodically during the course of the day. You will not get any critical information, by the way, before it's published on our page. Very unlikely. All right, continue to do what you hear the authorities recommend. We have done a lot of research and realized, yes, that you save yourself a whole lot by just not touching your face and by washing your hands as often as possible and doing it properly. If you feel unwell, as we are hearing from many other countries who have reported cases, do not assume that you do not have the coronavirus. Don't say, oh, it's just another common cold. It's just another fever. It's just another cough. Check with the authorities. It's swabbing you or testing you is like this. All right? It's not like a trip to the bank. It's like this. All right? So speak to the authorities. Let them check you. And that's it. That's it. They check you and you're sure. But the fallout from you not saying anything and then infecting your brother, your sister, your son, your daughter, that's worse. All right? So if you're feeling unwell, please speak, especially if you are showing that sort of symptom of a cough, of a fever, of just feeling that general sense of feeling unwell. Now they are saying that there's a bit of diarrhea, vomiting, and abdominal pain. Speak to the authorities, man. Let you know. Get yourself checked out. All right, folks. How are we looking for time? Let me see what else we have to tell all you. Right, Dominica. The cases in Dominica are rising quickly. Yes, one of our latest reports, I think it was, the cases moved up to just about 7. From having their first case on Sunday to today. And we do not want us to be that. Yeah? Really, really, my heart goes out to the people of Dominica. Folks, what we want to do right now, we're going to take a quick break and come back. And when we come back, we've got more for you. All right? So stay right there.
We enjoy the luxury of a quality water supply. But it can come to this. We enjoy the luxury of a quality water supply. But it can come to this. Have adequate storage.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom
For me and you.
I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. What a wonderful world.
Why not stay in, turn off the alarm clock, and sleep some more on your perfect mattress from Quartz? For the widest range of mattresses from the world's best brands, the best value guaranteed. Shop today and let our sleep experts help you to decide on the best option to suit your needs. At Quartz, we don't just sell mattresses, we're offering you the best night's sleep. So, sleep in a little on your new mattress from Quartz. Quartz, bringing value home.
Are you planning an event or looking to rent tents? Then call the tent experts at Waggy T Tent Rentals. We rent tents for all occasions. Tents in different colors, styles, and 25 different sizes. From as little as 10 by 10 to as large as 100 by 40. Call us at 439-TENT. That's 439-8368. Or visit our office at Frequente Industrial Park, Grenada, St. George. We are Grenada's tent people.
COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a new coronavirus introduced to humans for the first time. It is spread from person to person, mainly through the droplets produced when an infected person speaks, coughs, or sneezes. These droplets can land in the mouths or noses of people who are nearby. These droplets are too heavy to travel far in the air. They only travel approximately 1 meter and quickly settle on surfaces. This is the reason person-to-person spread is happening mainly between close contacts. The exact time that the virus can survive on surfaces is not yet known. So it is wise to clean surfaces regularly, particularly in the vicinity of people infected with COVID-19. Hands touch many surfaces, which can be contaminated with the virus. You should therefore avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth, since contaminated hands can transfer the virus from the surface to yourself. When coughing or sneezing, cover your mouth and nose with the bend of your elbow or use a disposable tissue. If a tissue is used, discard it immediately into a closed bin. The most effective way to prevent the spread of the new coronavirus is to clean your hands frequently with an alcohol-based hand rub or soap and water. This will eliminate the virus if it is on your hands. Stay healthy and prevent the spread of COVID-19.
All right. Okay, folks, so that's it right there. Again, some people say that they did not receive the notification from last night's program. I do apologize for that. I think it's a Facebook thing. All right, we have the national report. What? Look here. We have the national report for you. Stay tuned for that.
Government launches COVID-19 Economic Support Secretariat. We'll have details to this story and more in the national report. With the details to the news for Tuesday, March 24th, 2020, I am Rakisha St. Louis. The Government of Grenada COVID-19 Economic Support Secretariat, CES, has officially been established to implement the economic stimulus package announced in the national address by Prime Minister Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell on March 20th. The measures are intended to promote business sustainability and alleviate any potential job loss as a result of the negative effects of COVID-19. The Secretariat, set up under the Ministry of Finance, is responsible for the implementation, coordination, and administration of the measures outlined by the Prime Minister, which will provide support in the first instance to the identified sectors. Information pertaining to the process for assessing the grant support for payroll and income, in particular, will be available by March 27, 2020. The government of Grenada is committed to the efficient implementation of the economic stimulus package and look forward to collaborating with all relevant stakeholders. Minister for Trade, Industry, Cooperatives and CARICOM Affairs, Honorable Oliver Joseph, says Grenada is in a position to support various sectors now due to government's proper economic management and accountability. Minister Joseph was at the time highlighting the recently announced stimulus package to cushion the effects of the coronavirus. Addressing members of the media on Tuesday via online platform Zoom, he emphasized that Grenada does not have a central bank of its own and therefore can only control fiscal or taxation measures. Monetary policy control is governed by the Monetary Council of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, the ECCB. Minister Joseph says the stimulus package outlined by Prime Minister Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell on Friday were fiscal policies and not monetary policies.
What you have here is fiscal measures, that is, measures of taxation that the government has control over in this fiscal policy. So every time you hear the word fiscal policy used, think about taxation and government's recurrent spending and the government raising revenue and spending. Monetary policy has to do with interest rate payment. The central bank role is to help control inflation. They determine monetary policy, the amount of money that we place in circulation. The interest rate is set by the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. The value of the currency, as you know, we have a fixed currency rate with respect to the US dollar. The EC dollar is pegged to the US at a fixed rate of 2.7169. The only way this rate could change is that it requires a unanimous decision of the Monetary Council. Every member state must vote. Similarly, interest rates, the ECCB, these are monetary policy that's set. So the Minister of Finance could not announce a drop in interest rate, as you see happen in Trinidad.
Government's economic management strategies have placed it in a better position to provide financial bailout to various sectors.
Over the years, the last 5 years, the economy has been managed in such a way that we were able to meet our recurrent expenditure without going into overdraft or any loan facilities. It is managed in a way that the government was able to meet its recurrent expenditure on a timely basis. Every month, we meet our recurrent expenditure without having to resort to overdraft facility or loans. And therefore, the economy is in a strong position. There will be some negative fallout, but we are taking measures to ensure that assistance are provided to the various sectors.
The financial plan, which aims to minimize the risk of the pandemic, will be implemented for 3 months in the first instance following assessments.
The financial institutions have agreed in principle because the Minister of Finance cannot set interest rate for financial institutions. Whether it's the credit card rate or the on-lending rate, we do not have our own central bank, and therefore only the Monetary Council of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank could take these decisions. So the package is an all-inclusive package. Started with the tourism sector, you went on to the small business support, talk about agricultural support, fisheries, and concessions to medical facilities, private labs. So it is a wide range of concession that is announced for the next 3 month period. Thereafter, it will be reviewed and if necessary, other measures will be announced.
This is the National Report. We'll have more news after the break.
COVID-19 spreads from person to person through the droplets that are produced when someone coughs or sneezes, which makes it easy to spread between people in close contact. Now let's get prepared to stay healthy.
To reduce your chance of catching or spreading COVID-19, practice these simple everyday preventative measures. Droplets can also land on surfaces, so ensure that you wash your hands frequently for a minimum of 20 seconds or sing the happy birthday song twice. Avoid touching your face, especially your eyes, nose, and mouth. If soap and water are not readily available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with an alcohol content between 60 and 90%. 70% is ideal.
When you cough or sneeze, cover your nose and mouth with a flexed elbow or a tissue. Dispose of the tissue immediately and then wash your hands. If you notice someone has a fever and cough or other symptoms of respiratory illness, avoid close contact when possible. Let's all do our part to ensure that each and every Grenadian remains healthy. Our health is our collective responsibility.
Welcome back. Government has made application to the International Monetary Fund to receive financial assistance in the face of the global pandemic, COVID-19. That announcement was made by Minister Oliver Joseph, Minister for Trade, Industry, Cooperatives and CARICOM Affairs on Tuesday. The IMF is among several international financial agencies that proposed financial help to countries facing the effects of the novel coronavirus. Minister Joseph said $50 billion is available to countries who are in need.
The International Monetary Fund has pledged $50 billion to help countries fight this COVID-19 and the situation that we are in. They have calculated what the fallout will be. Grenada has made application for funds from the International Monetary Fund, and we are looking at other areas where funding can become available to assist us in helping these various sectors to adjust, and so the government could continue providing all its services to our population, to all our citizens.
$14 billion in financial bailout was also provided by the World Bank for the global pandemic. Finally, in the news, in light of the Prime Minister's address on March 13th to suspend school in the first instance, the Grenada Union of Teachers is pleased with the government's decision to keep school in suspension for the while due to the COVID-19. Kenny James, Vice President of the Grenada Union of Teachers, also commends the measures put in place by teachers to ensure that students are occupied while at home. While the teachers are providing work, Mr. James says parents too should show interest in their children's academics.
Teachers have done their best to ensure that children have work that they can go home with, that they can do in the interim. And as parents, you have a responsibility to ensure that your child is engaged at home. So while there are teachers who have moved forward in schools with online initiatives, clearly as a parent, you cannot negate your responsibility to ensure that your child is engaged. Whether work was actually given, remember you spent some money on books, and these books have chapters that could be read and exercises that could be completed. And when they are completed, could be forwarded to teachers.
The unions in Grenada are urging their members to listen to the relevant authorities as they give necessary, valid information relating to COVID-19.
We also want the general public to understand this situation is one that has to unfold for us within our context. What am I saying? We would look at television, we would look here, there, we would see, we would hear. But we must be willing and be ready to listen to what the local authorities are saying to us on the issue, because they are aware as our local situation and would guide us accordingly. So it's not just a one-size-fits-all, but let's hear what they are saying to us. Let us hear the directions that they're giving to us. Let us remember that we have a responsibility as teachers, as Grenadians, as citizens in this crisis to do what we have to do in terms of monitoring at our community level.
That story just ended the national report for today, Tuesday, March 24th. Let's recap the top story. Government launches COVID-19 Economic Support Secretariat. On behalf of the entire news team here at the Government Information Service, I am Rakisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.
All right, thank you very much, Rakisha. And let's take a look at some of the persons who are on the live that we need to say hello to. Charmaine, Noreen, and Shireen, and Suzette. What's going on, Suzette? I see you writing a book. Ezran, Kireen, Louisa, Deslin, and Monica, Sharon, Peter, AJ, Kojo, and all the other Kojos, and Doyos. And you know who I need to say hello to, boy? The people who don't say anything, but they're there every night, they share every night, you know, but they're there, they're just quietly there. So I want to say hello to all the silent viewers and all the silent sharers. You are amazing. Thank you for so doing. Jalina, big up. Trebelin, did I say Veronica? Yeah, Zaka is with us as well, all right? So big up to you, Zaka. Khadija, what's going on, Khadija? Gemma, big up your whole self, Gemma. All right, who else is there? Natalia, big up Natalia. Theresa, Mishi, and everyone else. Mikey, no weather. Gavin, big up yourself, Gavin. Blossom, I see that you're there as well. And then Deborah, Cynthia, I see that you're there. No, Tracy, big up Tracy. No, I have not. I don't see the weather in my inbox. No, I have not gotten the weather from the Met Office. Let me just double check, all right? Because before I came on, I did not see any. Nope. Nope, it's not there. Okay, so I'll see. I'll work on that tomorrow, God's willing. See what's up with that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway, folks, that's it for now. God bless you. Hey, Meryl, I see that you're there. Big up Meryl and Mr. McQueen and Zilon. Jillian and Doris and Shum. Veron, all right. Ruth, Peter, Quinn D, however you want to put it, all right. Yo, the list is too long. Hey, Lintana and Mom, blessings. Val, I see that you're there as well. And Danica. Did I say Queenie and Colette? Big up Colette and Deslin. I see that you're there. Big up Deslin. Special big up to you. All right. And that's it. So the list going on and on and on. And Vern, I see that you're there as well, right? So big up Vern. Okay. All right, guys. So that's it. Thank you very much, everyone. God bless you. We're going to come back with another program tomorrow, God's willing, right here on Facebook and on MikeyLive.com. God bless you and your family. To all the names that I did not have time to see, blessings to you. All right, guys. Take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands at all times and practice the safety guidelines provided to you by the ministry. Once you do those things, I think that you would prevent yourself from contracting the virus. May God richly bless you and your family. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we all say, Ja! No! Good night, everyone. May God again bless you and your family.
Things you need to know about self-isolation. Stay home. If you are told to self-isolate, it means staying at home, not going to work, school, or other public places, and you should not have any visitors. Separate yourself. If you live with others, then you need to stay in a well-ventilated bedroom with the door shut. If you have to share a bathroom, then use it after everyone else. Don't share towels and toiletries, as this may put others at risk. Call ahead. If you develop symptoms such as a fever or cough, then seek advice first by calling the Ministry of Health's hotline at 538-4787 or 458-4787. Please do not show up at a medical center or hospital, as this may put others at risk. Take care with waste. If you test positive, your waste should be double bagged and disposed of separately. Create a buddy system. If you live on your own, you can plan with friends and family to
COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a new coronavirus introduced to humans for the first time. It is spread from person to person, mainly through the droplets produced when an infected person speaks, coughs, or sneezes. These droplets can land in the mouths or noses of people who are nearby. These droplets are too heavy to travel far in the air. They only travel approximately 1 meter and quickly settle on surfaces. This is the reason person-to-person spread is happening mainly between close contacts. The exact time that the virus can survive on surfaces is not yet known. So it is wise to clean surfaces regularly, particularly in the vicinity of people infected with COVID-19. Hands touch many surfaces, which can be contaminated with the virus. You should therefore avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth, since contaminated hands can transfer the virus from the surface to yourself. When coughing or sneezing, cover your mouth and nose with the bend of your elbow or use a disposable tissue. If a tissue is used, discard it immediately into a closed bin. The most effective way to prevent the spread of the new coronavirus is to clean your hands frequently with an alcohol-based hand rub or soap and water. This will eliminate the virus if it is on your hands. Stay healthy and prevent the spread of COVID-19.